Hi.
Hi, Alice. Could you say something? I just want to see if we can hear you today.
Hi, teacher.
Louder, louder.
Hi, teacher.
Yeah, it seems better than last time. Okay,
Awesome.
good.
Perfect. Okay. Well, welcome to class today, everybody. We're going to be continuing our story that we started last week. Am I echoing on your guys' end? Luke, am I echoing at all?
Yes, but I think I would just mute people.
Okay, I'm not
Yeah, you
sure if
can
it's
continue.
mine.
No. I think someone didn't mute their microphone, so that's the problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. I don't hear it now. Okay. Okay, so back to our story. So before we get into the next paragraph in our story, let's talk about it so we remember what we discussed from last week. So let's think, what did we read about last week? What did we learn in this story? Ryan, do you remember, what did we talk about last week? Or what did we read about last week in our story?
Read about the bikes has a flat.
Very good. So we read about a bike. We know it has a flat. Now, whose bike was this? Bright, do you remember? Whose bike did we talk about in our story? What is the girl's name in our story?
Lina.
Very good, Belinda. Belinda, right? So when did she notice that she had a flat? Barry, when did she notice she had a flat tire?
On the way to her school.
Very good. So she was riding her bike on the way to school. She noticed something is weird here, and her tire, her back tire, was flat. So let's see what she did next. That's what we're going to learn about today. Before we do that, for your homework, you were supposed to answer this question. Have you ever had a flat tire? And what did you do? Or if you haven't, what would you do if you did have a flat tire on your bike or maybe in your family's car? So why don't we start with Stella? Have you ever had a flat tire on your bike or car?
Yes, I had a flat tire on my bike. At that time, I took my bike to the bike shop and found the shopkeeper for help.
Awesome. That sounded like a great idea. So if you had a flat tire, you took it to the bike shop. Awesome. Thank you. What about you, Bright? Have you ever had a flat tire on your bike or car?
Yes.
So what did you do? What did you
Call
do when you had a...
the family.
Okay. Can you answer in a complete sentence, Bright? You can say, when I had a flat tire.
When I ride the tire, I will call the family.
You called your family. Did you call your mom or your dad?
Mom?
Your mom. So did she come and help you?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So both Stella and Bright had flat tires on their bike. Let's go to Barry. What about you? Have you ever had a flat tire?
Yes, I had it on my bike, and uh, and because it's no place I can fix the bike near hood, so So I just use the air pump to fill the tire and ride a while and stop and do the and do it again
Okay.
until I go home.
Wow. So how long did it take you to get home?
I'm not sure. At least 2 kilometers.
Okay. So I don't know how long that is in miles. But so did it take maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? How much time did it take you?
I'm not sure because it's long time ago, but I
Okay.
think at least 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. So you actually used one of our vocab words we're going to learn today, air pump. Yeah, air pump. So you had to just keep pumping it with air because there wasn't a bike shop. Like Stella went to a bike shop. Okay, very interesting story. Thank you for sharing. And we know we talked to Ryan about this last week, but Ryan, why don't you tell us again? What happened when you got a flat tire on your bike?
I will tell my dad, and my dad is take a air drop to fix it.
Okay, so he fixed it for you with the air pump, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And what about you, Alice? Have you ever had a flat tire?
Yes, I have. My dad.
Alice, please say again. We couldn't hear you clearly.
Yes, I have it on my bike, and I told my dad to help me.
Okay, so you asked your dad for help too. So we see out of all of us, we either talked to our parents, they helped us, or we took it to a bike shop, or like Barry, we just kept trying to pump it with air as we kept riding our bike. So, all different experiences. So, thank you for sharing, everyone. So, this goes really well with the rest of our story because we're going to see what Belinda did. We know she checked the air pressure, she squeezed the tire. What did she do after that? So before we get into reading the story, we're going to go over the vocabulary. And we don't have a lot of vocab words today. We only have 6. So we might get through this a little faster than normal, but we can take more time maybe to write our sentences or if you have any questions. So let's start with our first one, which a few of you already talked about, air pump.
Air pump.
Air pump.
Air pump.
So as you know, the air pump is what we use to fill the tire with air. So we see an air pump here. We know we stand on it and we push this up and down right here. So let's read our example sentence. I'm going biking with some friends this weekend, so I need to make sure I bring my air pump.
I going
I
biking
going
with
Biking
some
biking
friends
with
with
some
this
friends
weekend, so
this
friends
I
week.
need to make
So
sure
I
I
need
bring my
to
air.
I
make
need to
sure
make
I
sure
bring
I
my air.
bring my air pump.
Very good. So again, we know our air pump fills our tire with air. So if you're going biking, maybe you're going on a trip with some friends to ride your bike and you'll be gone for a long time. Maybe you'll want to bring an air pump with you just in case something happens to your tire and you need to fill it with air. Next, to attach.
Attach.
To attach.
To attach something is to join or connect one thing to another. So let's look at our examples. Cameron attaches the leash to his dog's collar.
Cameron
Cameron
attached the leash
attached
to
the
his
leash to
dog's
his
collar.
dog collar.
The leash to his dog collar.
She attached a picture to her letter.
She
She
attached
attached a
picture to
picture
her
to
letter.
her letter.
Very good. So in this picture, we just see one example of someone attaching something. So when you put your leash on your dog, you are attaching the leash to the collar. You are attaching the leash to the collar. If you send a letter to somebody or write somebody a note, maybe you want to write a letter to your grandma and you want to send her a picture. So you would attach the picture to the letter. Maybe you would use a paper clip or tape to attach it to the letter. So again, to attach, you're just joining two things together. Next, hose.
Oh,
Hose.
So a hose is a long pipe that carries water or air, and you use it to carry that somewhere else. So if we look at the pictures, we can see what a hose is. So we see this hose has what? Bright. What does this hose have? What is coming out of the hose? What do you think?
Water.
Very good, water. So this would be a water hose. So let's read our first example. We just bought a new hose to water our flowers with.
we just
We
bought
just
a
bought
hose
a
to
new
water
hose
our
to
flower with.
water our flowers with.
Very good. So we see an example in this picture. This hose sprays out water. Now let's look at our second example. The hose on the air pump is broken.
The hose on the air pump
is
Air
broken.
pump is
Broken.
broken.
Very good. So now we see the picture of our air pump. So you don't have to say it, but I want you guys to think, what part of this is the hose? What part of the air pump is the hose? So if you're looking at this would be the hose right here. This is the hose. So Barry, does this hose have water?
No,
No. What does this hose have?
air.
Air. So we see two kinds of hoses. So this hose has air. This one has water. Very good. Okay, next. Valve stem.
Valve stem.
Valve stem.
Yeah.
So if we look at these two pictures, this is a picture of a car tire, and down here is a picture of a bike or bicycle tire. So this little thing right here is the valve stem. So we know this keeps the air inside the tire. If it doesn't have the little cap on it, then the air can come out. Or if it is broken, the air will come out of the tire. So let's look at our example. If the valve stem on your tire is broken, air will leak out.
If the
If
valve
the
stem
valve
in
stem
your
on
tire
your
is
tire
broken,
is
air will
broken,
leak
Your
out.
air will
tire
leak
is
out.
broken. Air will leak out.
Very good. So we want to make sure that when we have a bike or a car, that our valve stem isn't broken. We want to make sure it is intact or complete, that all the parts are there. So when we fill up our tire with air, we attach the hose to the valve stem to pump it up with air. Next, located.
Okay.
Located.
So this means to be in a particular place. So we see the map here that can help us remember what this word means. So let's look at our examples. The park is located across the street from my house.
The park is
The park is
located
located
across the
across
street from
the
my house.
street from my house.
Across the street from my house.
The bathroom is located down the hall.
The
The
bathroom
bathroom
is
is
The
located
bathroom is
down
down
located
the
down
hall.
the hall.
So we see we are talking about location, where something is. So you could say the park is located across the street from my house. So you know where the park is. That's its location. Or the bathroom is located down the hall. That's the place that the bathroom is. So again, this picture of the map can help you remember located means to be in a particular place. So if we think about maybe school, so Stella, is your school located close to your house?
No,
So what would you say? Is your school located far away from your house? And could you answer in a complete sentence?
no, my school is far located from my house.
Awesome. So you would say, my school is located far away from my house. My school is located far away. What about the grocery store? Ryan, is the grocery store located close to your house or far away from your house?
Grocery store is located far away from my house.
Very good. So far away. What about the library? Alice, is the library located close to your house or far away from your house?
The library.
Sorry, Alice, your microphone isn't picking up your voice very well. Could you try one more time? Could you speak up, please?
Library is close, far away my house.
Okay, the library is located far away from your house. Okay, so we can see again what this word means, located, where something is. Very good answers. So our next one, spoke.
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 And then if we are talking about more than one spoke, it would be spokes.
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 So the spokes of a bicycle are these rods that are in the center of the wheel. So this is a close-up picture. but if we know what a bike tire looks like, and all these little metal rods are called spokes, and they make the wheel stronger. So we need spokes on our bicycle wheels. So let's look at our example. Spokes are very important on a bicycle. Without them, you can't ride.
Spokes are
Spokes
very
are very
important on bicycle.
important
bicycle.
And you can't
Without
ride.
them, you can't ride.
That you can't ride.
Very good. So again, this is pretty simple. Spokes are the rods in the center of our bicycle wheels. So as I said, we don't have many words to discuss today. So now you can create your own sentence. And because we don't have a lot of words, if you want to use some of the words from last week too, you can do that. But make sure you use at least one from today's lesson, because we want to make sure we know this week's words too. So I'll let you guys do that now. And as always, when you're finished, you can type in the chat. So I see 2 sentences so far. Thank you. And another one, thank you. Thank you. And I see another person typing. So we'll just wait for them to finish as well. Okay, that was Alice redoing her sentence. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We can hear each other's sentences. So why don't we start with Ryan? Can you please share your sentence?
If my bag had no air, I could open the valve stem and use air pump to put air.
Very good. So you used valve stem and air pump. So very good. If we know our bike has no air, we open up the valve stem and we use the air pump. And we might say to pump air instead of put air because you're pumping the air into it. So very good. Great sentence. Thank you. Stella, can you please share your sentence?
I need a new air pump because my hose on the air pump is broken.
Very good. So of course we know if our hose is broken, then we can't use the air pump. It won't be able to put air into the tire. So very good. And Barry, can you please share your sentence?
His bike is broken. The spokes don't attach the wheel anymore. Wheel stands are broken too, and his air pump don't work. Today's not his day.
Very good. I agree. If that happened to somebody, it would not be their day. That would be a very bad day. So thank you for using all the different vocabulary. Used it all in the correct context. So great job, Barry. And Bright, let's hear your sentence.
My bicycle velocity is bad.
Very good. So we know valve stem, it's sort of a hard, phrase. So we want to make sure that our spelling is correct. And with valve stem, it could be hard to spell. So I'm going to type it in the chat. Valve stem. Do you see that, Bright?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe next time, just look back to make sure your spelling is correct because we might be saying the wrong thing if the spelling isn't right. But very good. So if our valve stem is bad on the bike, maybe it's broken, what does that mean? What could happen if our valve stem is bad? So Bright, if our valve stem on our bike, if it's bad, if it's broken, what could happen?
Happen accident.
What would happen to the air in the tire if the valve stem is broken? What do you think? What would happen to the air?
Sorry, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. So if we remember, what is a valve stem for? That's what we need to know. So Ryan, do you remember what is a valve stem for?
Can use air pump to put air.
Yeah, so we attach, remember our word attach? we attach the air pump to the valve stem to put air into the tire. And I'm going to share my screen again so we can look at the pictures. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so valve stem. This helps keep the air inside the tire. So if the valve stem is bad, like you said in your sentence, Sprite, maybe it's broken, then what will happen to the air in the tire? Will it stay inside the tire?
It leak out.
Yeah, it will leak out. So Bright, if your valve stem is broken, the air can leak out of the tire. So can you ride your bike if the tires don't have air, Bright?
Yes.
Are you sure? If your tires don't have air, can you ride your bike?
No.
No. So we have to have air inside our tire. Because remember, if there's no air, that means we have a flat, like Belinda in the story. Then we have a flat tire, and we can't ride a bike with a flat tire. Let's go back to that picture from last week. So remember, Bright, if we look at these pictures, a flat tire has no air. So we can't ride our bike if it has no air. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that with you guys again. I want to make sure you understand the words, the vocabulary words, but great job. Thank you, Bright, for your sentence. I have to give it a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so we're just missing Alice. Alice, can you please share your sentence?
The air pump's hose is broken.
Very good. So another part of our bicycle that might be broken or bad. And so if the air pump's hose is broken, Alice, can we put air into the tire?
No, we can't take air to the tire.
Very good. And so again, we want to make sure our spelling is good. So I'm typing this in the chat. So air pump, and I see you fixed broken. So great job for catching that. And air pump, we see a U, and I see how you put the quotation mark in there too. So air pump with a U. And thank you very much, Alice. So great, we had these vocab words all about bicycles and having a flat tire and pumping up our tire. So let's see what happens next with Belinda. What does she do next? So I'm going to share my screen. And because we only have a little bit to read today, what we're going to do is we're going to read the first paragraph again. We're going to read the first paragraph again. So I'm not going to pick any of you at first. So I'll let you decide who would like to read the first paragraph. So if you'd like to read it, you can unmute and say, I will. Who would like to read it? I don't want to have to pick. I like when you guys say you will. Okay, I guess I'll pick one of you. Who hasn't gotten to read yet? Barry, I don't think you've read in a while one of our paragraphs from our stories. So Barry, why don't you read the title and the first paragraph?
Belinda has a flat. Belinda's back tire seemed a little flat as she rode to school this morning, so she's checking the air pressure in it. As she sneezed it with her hands, it feels nestably soft. If she were to ride on it any further, it may damage the tire or tube.
Very good. Thank you. Great reading. So now we just have 2 sentences to read for our second paragraph. So as usual, I'll read it, then you will repeat after me when I read it the second time. To fill the tire up, she uses a small air pump. First, she attaches the air hose to the valve stem located between the spokes and locks it in place. So now let's read it again and repeat after me. To fill the tire up, she uses a small air pump.
To fill the
To
tire
fill
up,
the tire
tire
up,
up,
she
small
uses
air
a small air.
small air pump.
First, she attaches the air hose to the valve stem located between the spokes and locks it in place.
First, she
First, she
attaches the
attaches
air hose
the
to
air
the
hose
valve
to
stand
the
located
valve
between the
stem
spokes and
located
Between
locks
the
it
between
in
the
place.
spokes. And
Very good. So, like I said, we just have a little bit to read. So we're going to save this last paragraph for next week. But we had a lot of words in just these 2 sentences. So let's talk about this again from the beginning. What did Belinda do when she noticed her tire seemed a little flat? Ryan, can you answer in a complete sentence? What did she do when she saw her tire was flat?
she used a small air pump.
Very good. Now, what did she do before she used the air pump? What did she do, Alice, before she used the air pump? Could you say it one more time, Alice, louder into your microphone?
She attacks the air hose to the text stamp box between the spokes.
So that's what she did after she used the air pump. So we talked about this last week and at the beginning of class. So again, before she used the air pump, what did she first do? Stella, do you know what did she do first before she used the air pump? She had to check something.
She squeezes it with her hands. It feels noticeably soft.
Very good. So we know she squeezed the tire. Why did she squeeze the tire? What was she checking, Barry? What was she checking when she squeezed the tire?
The air pressure.
Very good. So I know we talked about that last week, but I want to make sure we know. So she squeezed the tire to check the air pressure, and like Stella said, it was very soft. It was soft. So then Ryan told us she used the air pump. And then What did she attach to the valve stem? Bright. What did Belinda attach to the valve stem? And we can look at the picture too if it helps. What did she attach to the valve stem?
Air pump.
Yeah, very good. So she attached the air pump, and so that was the air hose. So the whole thing is the pump, but just this part is the air hose. So she attached the air hose to the valve stem. Now, Stella, where was the valve stem on the wheel? Where was the valve stem?
The valve stem located between the spokes.
Very good. The valve stem was located between the spokes. So if we look at the picture, we can see right there is the valve stem, and it's located between the spokes. We see all these rods on the wheel, in the wheel. So here's our valve stem. Here's our pump or our hose, our air hose, and our pump. So that's what she had to do first. She had to attach the hose to the valve stem. And next week, we'll talk more about what she did. How did she use the air pump? So maybe for homework, you can review the second page of the reading so that we make sure we understand what all of these words mean. We want to make sure we understand. And you can look back at the slides too. That way we know we understand what these words mean. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go over our worksheet. Our worksheet. So I'll screen share that as well. So what we have first is our pictures, our matching. So if we look at our first page, number 1, what word matches with number 1, Alice? And you have to unmute. Can you say it again, Alice? I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Alice，你要打开麦克风。OK。
Okay, so I couldn't hear you, Alice. So can you type your answer in the chat? So why don't you type your answer in the chat? What matches with number 1? So I'll let you do that. And so let's go to number 2. Stella, what matches with number 2?
Located.
Very good. Located, the place where something is. So this map can help us remember. Number 3, Ryan.
Hose.
Very good, hose. And this is a water or garden hose. It sprays out water. Number 4, bright.
Air pump.
Air pump, very good. And number 5, Barry.
Attach.
Attach, very good. And number 6, Stella, can you do number 6, please?
Valve stem.
Very good, valve stem. So we see this little piece right here. In between the spokes of the wheel is the valve stem. Now, if we go back to number 1, Alice, I see you typed valve stem. So we know this right here is the valve stem. This little piece right here that you attach the hose of the air pump to. So what are these? What do you think these are? Number 1. So we know it's not valve stem. What are these called? Can you type it in the chat, Alice? I think she may be having some trouble. Can you unmute your microphone, Alice?
Alice，你可以用讲的吗？大声一点。Nothing. Yeah, maybe ask someone to help her out.
Okay, let's see if we can get someone to help us. So, Ryan, number 1. What is number 1?
Spokes.
Spokes. So, Alice, if we remember, the spokes are these metal rods in the middle of the wheel. These are the spokes. The valve stem is different because the valve stem is this little part right here that keeps the air inside the tire, and you attach the hose to the valve stem to fill the tire with air. So those are different from the spokes. So this is the valve stem, but it's in between the spokes. This is a spoke, and this is a spoke. So that's the difference between those two. Okay, let's move on to our second page. Now, this is a little different. We haven't done this before. So to make sure we really understand what these words mean, we have our vocabulary from today, and then we have the definitions or different clues to these words. So we have the meaning of the words on this side, but they're all mixed up. So it's sort of like with our pictures. We want to match the word with the correct definition, with the correct meaning. So this could be a little tricky. So we want to make sure we take the time to really think about it. So let's start with number 7. Air pump. So our word is air pump. Now let's look at the different definitions. So Stella, we'll start with you. So when you're ready, please tell us which of these definitions goes with air pump.
It is used to fill a tire with air.
Very good. Thank you. So what I'm going to do actually, so that we can mark off the ones that we've done, I'm going to share this screen. Okay, this way we can erase the ones that we have the answer to. Okay, so we have our definition for air pump. It is used to fill a tire with air. Very good. So this one is taken. Now, what about to attach? Ryan, if we look at our definitions, what matches with to attach?
To be in a particular place.
So not exactly. So to be in a particular place, this has to do with where something is. So to attach is different. Let's see if Bright, what about you? What goes with to attach? What is the definition?
To join one thing to another.
Very good. So attach, to join one thing to another. Very good. And hose. Ryan, why don't we let you try again? Hose, what definition goes with hose?
A long pipe used for putting water or air somewhere.
Very good. Awesome, that is correct. And valve stem. So this one's a little tricky. So Barry, let's see, valve stem, what is the correct definition?
It keeps air inside the tire.
Very good. So it's that little part that keeps air inside the tire. And again, we attach the hose to it to pump the tire. Okay, located. Stella, located.
To be in a particular place.
Very good. So again, located, think of location. So that's a place where something is. Awesome. And number 12, we have one definition left, spokes. Alice, can you please read that for us? Let's see if your mic, hopefully it works. Okay, sorry, Alice, we couldn't hear you, but I know you read this down here. So rods in the center of a wheel that make it stronger. Those are the spokes. So very good. You guys did awesome with these definitions. I know some of these words, the meaning is similar. So very good. Now our last part. And I know we have about 5 minutes left, but I want to save this for your homework. So Ryan, can you please read the directions for your homework?
Belinda's tire is flat, so she can't ride her bike until she fills it up with air. How do you think Belinda's tire become flat? Please answer in complete sentence.
Very good reading. Thank you. So that is your homework. You get to use your imagination. Think about, how did her tire become flat? What happened to it? So you can think of when you were riding your bike, how your tire became flat. Maybe you rode over a rock or glass or something sharp. So think of a little story. It doesn't have to be super long, but a few sentences. How did her tire become flat? And next week, you'll be able to share what you think. And we'll also be able to finish the story to see what Belinda does and how she uses the air pump. So we have a lot more words to learn for next week. So are there any questions about the homework or anything we learned in class today? Okay, so you can go ahead and do that. And then again, next week, we'll go over that together, how you think her tire became flat. So I'm not sure if Luke wants to jump in.
So they can make up any reasons, right?
Yep, so use your imagination. You come up with a little story of how her tire became flat.
Imagination 这是想象力。如果你可以想象说它为什么它的轮胎会爆胎啊，这是可以随便你去编一个理由，一个小故事Stella 这方面做得很好就是你每次写作业都有一小段这样子，所以就是这一次作业大家可以想一个小小的事件，然后把它写成像 Stella 这样一个小小的 passage 这样。I told them that Stella did a good job. She most of the time she came up with like short passage, within a little story. That's good. Yeah.
Yes, we always like hearing Stella's stories. They're all very good. Yeah.
Adults or children all like to listen to stories. Okay, students, please unmute your microphone and say thank you to teacher Ziana. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Vienna.
teacher.
See you next week.
Thank you all. I'll see you next week. Great job today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.